Good morning, mathematicians. Today we're starting a look at multiplication. We're going to be doing lesson 3.2. It's called Multiplication Facts. The goal of this lesson is to review strategies for solving multiplication facts. And we're going to help you to maintain automaticity with multiplication facts. In other words, getting them in a snap. And you're going to learn about something called prime and composite numbers. At this time, make sure that your goal is filled out for the day. These fact triangles are found in the back of your book. We're going to be using these throughout the lesson, so just know at the end you're going to be cutting out pages 1 through 4 for all of these fact triangles, and you'll just get a paper clip from your teacher to hang on to these. Let's take a look at the multiplication and division table. The first thing that we should note here is that up in the top, these are symbols for multiplication and division. Remember, multiplication can be shown with an X, it can be shown with an asterisk. Division can also be shown a couple of different ways. Division can be shown with a more traditional sign of the line with the 2 dots, or it can look like a slanted line, or it can be set up just like a fraction. Of all these numbers, these top numbers are called the factors. These are the numbers that you're going to multiply by to get your answer. So this whole row is factors, this whole row is factors. Let's take a look at the definition of a factor. Here it says the factor of a counting number n. A counting number whose product with some other counting number equals n. For example, 2 and 3 are factors of 6 because 2 times 3 equals 6. But 4 is not a factor of 6 because 4 times 1.5 is 6, and 1.5 is not a counting number. So if you look down here, when we had 2 times 3, 2 and 3 are the factors. The answer is called the product. So now we know the name of the answers in our multiplication facts. So any of these numbers inside are called the products. Notice how some of these are shaded here and down that diagonal. This means they're square numbers. They're perfect squares because we have 1 times 1 equals 1, 2 times 2 equals 4, 3 times 3 equals 9. So any of these shaded in ones are the square numbers. The last word we really need to know is what it means for something to be a multiple. So let's check our definition. Multiple of a number, n. A product of n and a counting number. For example, the multiples of 7 are 14, 20, 7, 14, 21, 28, and so on. So let's move our multiples over here by, for example, the 9. If we want to find multiples of 9, we would just look along here. So the multiples of 9 are 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, so on. Turn and tell your partner, what are the multiples of 5? There are a couple more shortcuts that we're going to review. Remember, a turnaround fact is just turning around the two factors to make the same product. So we know that if 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 3 also equals 6. If 4 times 5 equals 20, what is the turnaround fact for 4 times 5? Right, 5 times 4 equals 20 as well. Here are a couple more shortcuts that you might remember from last year. First, 0 times any number will always equal 0. 1 times any number will always equal the other number. 2 times a number will double the number. And to find 10 times another number, you write 0 after the number. So for example, if we had 9 times 90. 9 times 10, anything times 10, you take that first factor, the 9, and you add a 0. So if we have 4 times 10, it's just 40. 5 times 10 equals, right, 50. 2 more terms that we need to know, and it's prime and composite. Then we'll work together. Read with me. A prime number is a counting number that has exactly two different factors. 5 is a prime number because the only factors of 5 are 1 and 5. All of these numbers are prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. So in other words, there's only one way to make these numbers. Read with me about a composite number. A composite number is any counting number greater than 1 that is not a prime number. Each composite number has 3 or more different factors. All of these numbers are composite numbers: 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18, 20. Let's look at why that is. If we look at this chart, they tell us the number and then the factors. So the number 1 is only made up of 1 times 1, so it's neither prime or composite. The number 2 has one factor pair, 1 and 2, because 1 times 2 equals 2. Therefore, we call it prime. The number 3, there's only one multiplication fact to make this. The two factors are 1 and 3, or 1 times 3, so that makes it prime. 4, on the other hand, is called composite because it has factors of 1, 1 times 4. It also has 2, 2 times 2. So we list the factors of 1, 2, and 4. Let's try this out in your math journal now. At this time, open up your math journal to page 56. We're going to write down the factor pairs together. The first one is already done for you. So we know that with the number 2, the factor pairs are 1 and 2. Let's take a look at the number 3 then. So what is a way we can make 3? We're going to think that in our head. Well, we know 3 can be made by doing 1 times 3. Is there any other way we can make 3? No, so we're just going to write down factor pairs are 1 and 3. In other words, it's prime. Number 4 right here. What different ways can we make 4? So we could do 1 times 4. We could do 2 times 2. So we need to write down those factor pairs. We'd write 1 and 4, comma, 2 and 2. Turn and talk with your partner and solve numbers 5 through 10. Remember, there is a multiplication chart over on the side wall you may use. So we have 5 and 1, 1 and 7, 1 and 8, 2 and 4, 3 and 3, 9 and 1, 1 and 10, 2 and 5. You'll be completing this page and then answering the questions at the bottom about which ones are prime and which ones are composite today during the lesson. Finally, we're going to take a look here, but we still have a couple more directions. You're going to be doing Math Journal 56, factor pairs of prime numbers. That's what we just started. Then you're going to be doing Math Masters, page 409, cutting and sorting triangles. This one is incorrect. This is not Math Masters. So at this time, you're going to cross out Math Masters, and you're going to write that it's numbers 1 through 4 in the back of your math journal. Then you do math boxes, and finally you play Name That Number. Here's the reference book page you need, and Math Masters. When you're done, Activity B is moving on to Mrs. Ware's room for the Math Masters, and then the blend space. Activity C, you're doing blend space. Teachers will be coming around to double check your Math Masters, page 489. That goes with the game. So this is the page that you'll need to turn in by the end of math class today.